Coming to you from the all-new Live House in Hollywood, California.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Pensado's Place. It's hard to believe that Christmas is here, and we've got gifts, including an interview with the brilliant, the talented Anderson .Paak. But first, let's get to those gifts. You still have a few days to take advantage of Warm Audio's warm holiday season. Get discounts on select warm gear from now through December 31st. Hurry at available participating dealers near you. And of course, we want to remind you about a very special NAMM. Friday, January 17th, Dave and I want you there for a special edition of Pensado's Place Live. It takes place 5 p.m. in the Hilton Ballroom on the second floor, and we are super excited to bring you Alex Tumay, Louis Bell, and FINNEAS. Three of the most gifted, hottest guys in the game. Between them, we'll talk about their work on Post Malone, Future, 21 Savage, Selena Gomez, Billie Eilish, and more. And we'll have a meetup hang afterwards where you can meet our guests, hang out with Dave and I, ask questions, take a flick. Plus, we'll have awesome prizes at the meetup from our friends at Sweetwater, Warm, and Auto Tune. We're going to be liberal in giving them out. And we're also, if that's not enough, going to save you some chips. You can attend NAMM just for $25. How do you do it? Click the link down below, enter the code Pensado, and boom, you are done. So get it popping. You want to attend this panel. Here's the details one more time. Friday, January 17th, 5 p.m. Hilton Ballroom. We got stars. We got information. We're going to hang out. We've got prizes. We're going to have fun. Be there. And when I tell you to go, go, because people are signing up right away. So DP, let's talk about something that you utilize a lot, that we hear from our friends a lot, and that is a very cool company called Splice. Now, here's what they are. It's a digital music platform, and it really evolves the way people create, the way they connect, the way they collaborate, and you have access to all kinds of sounds, software, and generally that makes you more inspired. They designed it specifically, and these are people who really love music and really care about what you do. So they designed it to keep all the creators in the flow and make production tools not only available to you, but affordable. So that lowers the barriers to entry and allows you to get more creative. Give us some of the things that Splice Sounds has.
The platform has millions of sounds, royalty-free, all of them. And they range from samples to presets, loops, effects. The library is almost endless. You can get a monthly plan starting as low as $7.99. Also, Herb, they've got a mobile app, and this allows you to take your Splice with you, and then you can do things in your hotel room or on an airplane. Then when you get back, you can integrate that seamlessly into all of your other DAWs. It's a pretty amazing process.
So you take those advantages with Splice Sounds, and then you think about what they do with artists. I mean, as a resource for hobbyists like yourself, top 40 producers like yourself, and Grammy Award winners, a lot who are friends of ours, they use that Splice on such amazing tracks. We've had Oak Felder on. He used Splice on Demi Lovato's Sorry Not Sorry. We've had Boy Wonder on. He used Splice to create Drake's Mob Ties. The Despacito guys, we interviewed them at NAMM. Great guys, Andreas Torres and Mauricio Rengifo. And they use it on Sebastian Yatra's Un Año. It just shows you that Splice can be applied to all kinds of genres, any kind of way, and it's pretty amazing. Splice also has a super cool rent-to-own program. Works very simply. You, the creator, pay off your software's retail price over time in small monthly increments with no interest whatsoever. Then you own the license forever. In the RTO program, there are over 20 world-class professional plugins like Serum, like Arteria's 5 collection, and Isotope's Ozone. And if that's not all, Splice also offers a variety of music creation software, including DAW, Studio One by PreSonus, and a bunch of other good things. So as a holiday gift for our audience, the good folks at Splice are giving you a chance to give them a try. Go to this link you see below me, click there, enter Pensado 100. That code is good for 1 month free access to Splice Sounds 100. That's 100 credits per month. So here's your chance to use what the best use, and we don't want you to miss it. Thanks to everybody at Splice. To get these gifts and more, sign up for our newsletter, hit like, subscribe, click notify, and we thank you for that. And now we have the great honor. We spent a great time with this rising soul and hip hop visionary. Please enjoy our conversation with Anderson Paak. Nice
Thanks
to have you,
for
man.
having me.
Nice
What's
to
up,
have
man?
Good to see you.
you. So, dude,
It's good.
incredible. Yes, Lord.
Yes, Lord.
Yes, Lord. As a fellow Southern Baptist,
Yeah.
was it St. Paul? What was the
Yeah,
church?
St. Paul Baptist.
St. Paul's Baptist Church. A lot of what you do, and I have a certain appreciation for soul, man, which I think you are. Did the church help formulate who you are? Because so much happens there that people don't understand. Was that part of your upbringing?
Very much so. Probably about 90% of it. Yeah. And the thing is, we weren't forced to go to church. Like, that's probably what was a big part of it. My mom was, drugged to church all the time. And my grandfather was a pastor, and they grew up in a real religious household. And my mom, by the time she had us, she was just swarmed with work all the time. So, I got into church because I started playing drums. And my god sister was going to the church at the time and was like, "You're playing drums now? Oh, you got to come to church. That's where all the best drummers are." And I was like, cool. So I went to church, and I never experienced anything like that before. And I was hooked. I wanted to go every day just to be close to the fire, as they say, and just be around the music and learn. I didn't get to touch the drums till probably 2 or 3 years into just going there and just sitting up under the drummer. And then finally they were like, okay.
There's an additional part too. Let me just see if this is real.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't our experience. So yes, there's incredible musical experience, both musicians and singers, right? And every church, every Sunday is almost like a concert, right? Particularly if you got praise and worship in there. But it was also a cool place to meet hot chicks.
I was just going to say, the most beautiful people in the world, man.
You said it much nicer than I did, but yeah.
The ugliest and beautiful.
So there was a lot of incentives to go to church,
That's not
for sure.
my church experience.
Yeah.
I to be disrespectful.
Well, you need to come to a black church. We'll hook you up.
I went to a few in my day.
Yeah.
Best musicians.
In that experience, because I sang in church a bunch, and my mother played piano, I played piano. The thing that you take away from that partly is just this association with feel.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're moving emotional stuff, right? And it seems to me in your professional craft, feel is at the base of all of that. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely. It's just like something you can't really get without just the experience. I don't know how, you can really teach something like that, but
you can't learn that on YouTube.
Yeah, just Sunday after Sunday, and then not even Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. You go travel, you get embarrassed. You have good days, you have bad days. A lot of it is just following the energy of the choir director or the pastor. It was so much of just, it's not about you. You know what I'm saying? You're like the backbone of what's going on, and we're trying to usher in a spirit, an energy. And I didn't realize till I got older that kind of transcends through everything. Whether it was church or punk rock shows or anything, it was about the energy and how we're gonna move this energy, and that's how miracles happen. So. Sometimes, you have to play fast. Sometimes it's just all cymbals. And there's just little techniques that I developed that I didn't even know I was developing. And, that was all in the church. And when I finally got to, formal training, I didn't even know how to properly hold sticks, but I could, I didn't know the double stroke or anything, 6-stroke, but I was doing it. But, I was just, it was all feel. And, by hook or crook, we was forcing the notes out. We didn't know nothing about how to hold the stick and all that stuff. It was just like, just monsters with it. And that was it. You go play drums for 30 years and you have a drummer that's 8 years old that's ripping in church, and just put anybody to shame. That's only something that you can see in the church.
That's how the 1500 guys were.
Yeah.
Came up in church playing when they're 12 and 13. And
Eric Moore comes to mind too. Good Lord.
Yes. See, those dudes
I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah. We go travel and play at different churches, and you think you're a hot shit, and then Eric Moore pull up. Just
and kill you.
Burn the house down.
Absolutely.
With one hand.
Yeah. Just ripping.
Did you go from the church experience to the weddings, singer, playing, those kinds of things?
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah, I did I was doing church. I mean, pretty much up until I couldn't do it anymore. I was always playing, partly because that was just all I knew, and it paid the bills too.
Exactly.
I was, you know, getting paid to play Sunday services, and that was like my main source of income for a while until like the music kind of took off. But as I was playing drums at church, I would start to venture off too. So by the time I got into high school, I was playing in like punk rock bands. I was doing my own beats and starting to dabble into production, and I had the MPC, and I was DJing. And then on Sundays, I'll be back, you know, playing in church.
Because you flipped the race record equation. Backwards, right?
Yeah. The with the cover art. Yeah. By the time I did that, I was into all kinds of different music, and
because you had some yeahs and and some Coldplay and some other stuff. Right?
Yeah, so everybody was doing like mixtapes, you know, doing these free projects at the time, and I wasn't into like rapping over someone else's beat, but I was like, okay, I'll do my own version of it. I'll do covers, which was pretty much the same thing. But I just thought it was too easy for me to just do a James Brown cover or do like a Prince. I thought it was just a little more exciting to do something that didn't have like the grease, like you said, and give it the grease, because I could see it in there, like a yeah song. And these were all big songs that were, you know, huge coming up in high school that didn't have necessarily like the backbeat in it, you know what I'm saying? So, and I remember, you know, seeing how all these records, you know, Rolling Stones and all these big white rock groups were getting huge records after they would, you know, remix or, you know, redo these, you know, black records or race records as if they were saying them at the time. And then they would hit the charts. So I just wanted to kind of flip that whole thing on its head.
The reason I asked about the wedding singer thing was really an allusion to the Beatles. The Beatles learned so much in playing small bars and small cities around England and learned how to really connect with people, and it informed their songwriting. Yeah. Did your live performance stuff when you're doing that help the Everson Paak that we know now? Absolutely. I mean, we weren't lucky enough to have strip clubs, you know, like be playing in strip clubs, but we were playing in dive bars. And so for all of you starting now, you got a place to go. Yeah. I mean, dude, we were playing for staff. Like, I mean, I can't tell you how many times we would show up and we start playing and people would just leave, you know? They'd rather have the DJ. And that was it. We had to figure out like how we're gonna keep their attention, you know, like, and we always have a bar to play where the owner really believed in us, and as long as we can make it there on time, which we didn't, you know, we would he would let us play, and we just play. We were the only ones that would play for like $300 for 12 hours or whatever the hell, you know. It's part of the journey. Yeah, and that was it. That's all we wanted. We just needed a little money to get there and get back and get some food and find a couch. Yeah, man, that was it. That was the best times, dude. We just were, and we learned so many songs from that time, and we were just playing, and that was how I ended up getting, you know, good at playing and singing. We couldn't find a drummer that we all could agree on, and if we did find a good drummer, he would get a gig the next week and he'd be gone, you know. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna play drums, and it was less money to split too. So yeah.
How'd you come to hook up with Dr. Dre?
Dre had been working on Compton when I met him. And it was a few people that had been trying to get me in front of Dre. My manager at the time, Adrian, was really close with Gary Gray, the director. And they had been trying to play music for him. I had a couple of records that were floating around. I had a song called Drugs. I had a song called Suede. But he wasn't interested until I got in front of him. And so we got a call one day, and he was like, Ty at the time was the A&R over there. Dre wants him to come in, work on Compton, help write. And so he tells my manager at the time, I'm like, yeah, right. You know, that's never going to happen. You know, that project's never coming out. And he's like, I'm begging you, just come through. Like, I didn't want to go. I didn't think it was going to work out because, you know, I come up in LA where everybody says they had the Dre placement at the time. You know, that was like kind of like almost like a joke at the time. Like, oh, we're going to go write for Dre. Yeah, right. You know, how many sessions you do. But I showed up, and lo and behold, the first two people I meet was Dre and DOC. Wow. Over at Record One. And they're just like towering above me. And when I meet them, I'm like, how you doing? Right. and they're watching the Laker game. I meet them, and you know, I'm trying to keep it cool. And
you got to do that.
Yeah, crazy studio. You know, all the speakers,
all the speakers,
stuff. So I walk in there and I meet the two writers at the time, Mez, who now is working with J. Cole, and another writer named JT. And they were in there, it was in this big studio, just them two. And I walk in and they're just like, oh, he's here. And they're just like, we love your music, man. We've been trying to play it for Dre, but, you know, he doesn't, you know, he hates everything. Right. So unless you get in front of him and he sees that you got the talent, then it's like, okay, I can work with this. But they love that song Suede. And I was like, cool, man. So they started playing me the music and I was hyped. I had never heard anything as good. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. And they played, the song was All in the Day's Work. It became that, but it was the beat. And I think Dahi was one of the producers on that. And I was just like, oh, this is like right up my alley. Incredible. Like, you know, when you get in a studio session and they play something and it sounds like shit and you're just like, oh, how am I going to make this better? Exactly. With that beat, I was just like, oh my God, I couldn't wait. Yeah, so I'm ready to get on the mic, and right when I'm writing, they're like, oh, hold on, let's play some of the music for Dre. I'm like, he hasn't heard it yet? I'm like, oh shit, like, can I at least get on the mic before he kicks me out of here? You know?
It had to be torture.
Yeah, so he comes in there, they play Suede, and I'm just like, I don't even want to look, and then I look up, and he's just like bobbing his head. He just cranks the music, you know. Everybody who works with Dre knows he's cranking it. And yeah, he's playing it, and then he plays it again, then he plays it again. He's like, okay, yeah, that's gangster. Let's do it. Wow. And yeah, they throw on the beat, and I hop on the mic right there, and he's like, you just want to, you know, hop in? I'm like, yeah, let me just try something off the top. He's like, right now? I was like, yeah. And it's just like a room full of people, and you know.
And he likes the vocal mic in the room, right?
Yeah, so I'm like, where's the booth? He's like, we right here with it.
Here, right.
I'm like, okay. Yeah. And yeah, that was the start of it. I got on the mic.
Was it Dre that described your voice as a pack of Newport?
It might have been him. It might have been him on a fake account. Yeah, I recently saw that tweet again, and I was like, oh, there it is.
That's the greatest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I'm gonna frame it. Yeah, I was pissed off, and I was like,
yeah, that's like a pack of Newports.
Yeah, if Newports could sing, ain't that some shit?
Talk about full circle, though, because you used to, back when you were a little kid at Show and Tell, you used to do Dre and Snoop's song. Instead of bringing something that you would do the lyrics, right?
It's so
what a
part
crazy
of my
full circle. Yeah.
Musical DNA. Like, there was nobody bigger than Dr. Dre and Nirvana. You know, like those two worlds were like happening at the same time, and I was all about it.
And forgive me for this, but I think I read this, but does the dot between Anderson and Paak have anything to do with the dot between Dre and Doctor?
No, I put the dot there to symbolize detail.
Because, you know, there's a dot after DR.
That's right. Yeah.
I thought maybe you got it from that.
I got something in common on that. Yeah, no.
Why'd you put the dot there?
I was going by Breezy Lovejoy for years when I was moving around.
The dot's better, but
Hollywood and all those gigs that we were doing.
Lovejoy.
Yeah, Breezy Lovejoy. And that was my nickname for, you know, coming up in high school, Breezy. I was a little chubby kid farting, passing gas, and my brother-in-law called me Breezy because I was always passing gas and eating Cheetos and stuff. So
I am now going to use Breezy.
Yeah. So I'm gonna call you Bubba. I was Bubba to my family because I was a little chubby kid, and then I became Breezy. And then when I started writing music, I'm like, I'm gonna add the Lovejoy. That's a real player. Yeah. And I was doing that for like 6-7 years around LA, and it wasn't going anywhere. My mentor at the time was like, why don't you just go by your real name? And I was like, what are you talking about? I got 300 followers. I'm keeping this name, bro.
This is working.
And I remember he told me, bro, I'll never forget this. He was like, when you meet Dr. Dre, you're really going to tell him your name is Breezy Lovejoy. I was like, first of all, I'm never meeting Dr. Dre. Second of all, I'm keeping Breezy Lovejoy. And he talked me into it. And that was one of the things that kind of stuck with me. I was like, I guess you kind of have a point. Like, you know, hi, my name is Breezy Lovejoy. So, I switched it. I went by Anderson, which is my last name.
Right.
And Paak is what is it supposed to be pronounced, how it's supposed to be pronounced originally. But I started saying Paak because I wanted people to maybe think it was like a band or more than one person. And I found out that it was actually the wrong spelling. My mom's adopted from Korea in the 50s, and it was supposed to be Park. And some along the lines, it got mixed up, and it became Paak, but she found out later that it's originally supposed to be Park. So once I found that out, I was like, okay, I'm gonna call it what I want anyway.
Right.
So, yeah, when I switched over to Anderson Paak, I kept the dot there because I remember my mentor at the time was saying, you know, you got all the talent in the world, but you don't have really much work ethic. And I think if you just lock yourself in a room and work on just you for a certain amount of time, you could probably come out of it with something, you know? And at the time I was playing drums for this person. I was trying to make beats for this person. I was rapping. I was doing so much stuff because I was capable of it, but I ain't ever just, okay, let's just make an album just for me and let's figure out what the sound I want and what is my voice, you know, trying to find it. And after I came out of that process, I kept the dot there to remind me that you got to pay attention to detail.
And you know what else I like? Because I've been saying Paak forever, so I feel better.
Yeah.
It's the bourgeois exclusive way to say it.
That was the other thing he told me. He's like, people are going to argue about if it's Paak or Paak. You want that.
When I was doing the research and they kept saying Paak, I was like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
I'm having that conversation with myself and my computer.
I did the same thing.
Yeah, he's like, let him
What did I call you when we met first time?
I
don't think calling you Paak.
God only knows.
Yeah. Little shithead. I don't know.
No, I wouldn't do that.
You know, one of the things you do that I think is phenomenal, besides whatever he called you, is you manage to like your live shows are mature moms and mosh pits.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a mixture of all that because.
Did you make that up? Mature moms and mosh pits? That's incredible.
MILFs and mosh pits.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. The new album.
I love that.
That's
MILFs and mosh pits.
Yeah.
See, it's happened right here on Pensado's Place. But that's also what you embody musically. Like what comes through you, whether it's rapping or singing or drumming or whatever the case may be. You manage to synthesize, I call you the alchemist, because you kind of synthesize all these different genres of music that all represent you, right?
Yeah.
To me, that's where your freedom is. That's where your identity is.
Yes.
Is that fair to say?
Absolutely.
Talk about that.
I mean, I think it helps too. It's like I said, when you're capable and you have like that kind of vocabulary and you can play and all this stuff, you just have more space to be able to stretch out and do things, right? So, you know, I heard somebody call it a gap artist, where it's like, it's a rare instance where the parents and the kids can
100%.
agree on one artist, right?
100%.
And I don't know if it's just, you know, it's just the timing of how, you know, I'm 33 and I kind of fall in that gap of that in-between phase where I still remember tapes and vinyls and CDs when they first were coming out, and when the transition where everybody was like, okay, it's all going to the internet now, you know? But I remember we were kind of like that middle generation that was, you know, had to deal with all the stuff, everything changing over.
That's right.
And when I was coming up, it was all about MTV, you know, that generation. And there was no internet, there was no YouTube or nothing. Everything, you had to go to one place to find the music. It was either...
Did they have electricity in Oxnard then?
Yeah, they had it. It wasn't that great, but they had, they had electricity.
I love Oxnard.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I wanted to... I love it now too, but my whole life growing up, I wanted to get the hell out of there. You know what I'm saying? And
that's what we did.
I was going to do anything I could to get out of there. And I didn't want to end up being like, you know, those guys that just wasted away and there were so many people that had so much talent and potential that kind of just was cool with just being, you know, I'm just chilling here.
Yeah.
Just a lack of ambition.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I just wanted to get up out of there. And I had all these different influences in me, and I could play, and I could, you know, I didn't think at all I could sing or anything. Coming up, everybody wanted to rap, you know, or breakdance, pop lock and stuff. So I thought I was just going to be an entertainer and do stuff like that. And then eventually kind of, you know, progressed into singing. But yeah, I had all these different influences, and that was always what I put into my music, and the people around me were always like, yeah, man, I'm just doing one thing, bro. Like, just keep doing your thing and keep that freedom like you have, and put that in the music. And it wasn't always accepted. Like people, honestly, a lot of people coming up were just like, dude, I think we all know you should just drum, dude. Like, or I think we all know you should, you know, stick to this. I got a lot of that. And people didn't understand the whole drumming and singing thing and,
oh my God.
and rapping. And it just went over their heads a lot of times. And it wasn't until, you know, the last few years where it kind of came full circle in the fan base. It was timing, you know, and that people could, were ready to accept an artist like that.
Listen,
but I was doing it for years.
I told you this before, and if I call him now because you're here, he'll go nuts. I had a father in his 60s, who's a big-time businessman, and his son, who was at Facebook, turned him onto your record. He called me and went over your credits, how dope you were, just like went nuts. Then I found a video of you doing an acoustic set, and I sent it to him, man. He thanked me for about 20 minutes. So, man, my request to you is never change all these influences that come in. Tune in next week for part 2 of our conversation with Anderson .Paak.